Hi everybody, hope you're all doing well. An update. I was about to say quick, but it never usually is with me. I think it's been about a month at least, isn't it, since I last did one. I'm afraid I've slipped into old habits, dotting about again between things. I was enjoying doing the Russian, the Napoleonics, and this is as far as I've got, like tester figures really for. Well, as you can see there's three types of Russians there. Pavlovsk, Grenadier, Line Trooper in greatcoat, and the Opolcheny, I think it's pronounced. They're like Russian militia. Yeah, problem I have with once I start painting stuff is I need something to work towards, even if I know I'll never even complete it. Got a funny kind of habit. I think it's something that a lot of gamers or painters do. Can't even call myself a gamer because I don't actually game, but I like to have a set of rules, some army lists, and a scenario, and I can then collect the figures I want according to that scenario. Something I do with French-Indian War and American War of Independence. And although I drift backwards and forwards, at least with those, I feel like I've got an actual goal. Whereas the Napoleonics at the moment, I've just sort of thought, quite fancy painting Russians. So I've just started painting, a couple of samples of different types with no real aim. So I find it hard to focus on it. So yeah, basically I need to get a set of rules that I'm gonna like, with the some scenarios, that some actual battles that feature an army list for those battles that feature Russians and Austrians, because I've got a fair few of both of those, and then obviously I've got loads of French. So yeah, that's why I've stalled a bit on the Napoleonics, even though I was enjoying doing it. So until I get something like that sorted out, I'm probably going to have to put these on the back burner. I do have a, this chap here is a Duchy of Warsaw. I've got a definite goal for them because I've picked out, I just need the rules, some rules really, but I've picked out a battle that I like the sound of. Peninsular War, Battle of Somosierra, which was where a load of the Polish took on the Spanish. I think they likened the cavalry charge of the Polish lancers to the later in history it was likened to the charge of the Light Brigade, because it was a load of Polish lancers charging at Spanish artillery. And I believe it was fought up in mountains and stuff. So I quite like the sound that. And I actually found an article online that gives a fairly good idea of the forces in it. So I've got that to work towards from Polish, and obviously these French there as well. Obviously I need to buy Spanish now. But yeah, basically the reason I've stalled is because I don't have a definite aim for the Russians and the Austrians. So yeah, I need to find some rules and some scenarios, and then I can refocus on that. But anyway, I thought I'd show you these. This is a Warlord Pavlovsk Grenadier. I'm often a bit iffy about Warlord figures, the Napoleonics, but these are quite good ones actually. It's the basic Russian body, but with the Grenadier box you get supplied two lots of heads. You get the Grenadier heads and Fusilier heads, so there's loads of spares. You get enough for each. I think it's 32. You get 32 of each head. I painted that using the Foundry Triad of French, Dragoon Green. Thought it worked quite well because I mean the actual regular line Russians, their uniforms like so dark green's almost black, and I've got the actual triad for that from Foundry, but what I've seen of the Pavlos, they were a lot of a lighter green. So that's one done, and I've gone for winter basing using Precision Ice and Snow products. That's basically a powder and adhesive they have, and you mix them together, and you can mix different consistency. You can do it really thin and get it so it looks a bit slushy, which I think would be good for artillery bases. Russian Trooper in greatcoat, and this is using Warlord's Russian Crimean bodies. And I also bought Russian Crimean War backpacks from them, because I obviously need backpacks. I think it works perfectly fine. So I'm quite happy doing that, because obviously, like with those, you get the sprue of the Russian troops. So you got all these Charco heads or Kiva heads, which you don't use because you use all metal heads for the Grenadiers and Fusiliers. So I can use all the heads from them on these Russian Crimean heads, bodies. But Lee, what do you do with all those Russian Crimean heads? I should be coming on to that in a bit. Again, this is a Russian Crimean body. They've got different styles of coats with a Hanoverian head. I mean, what I might do is buy because I'm going to do Prussians eventually, I might buy the box of Prussian Landwehr and use the heads from those as well, because they come with Charco heads as well, so I could do the Landwehr in Charcos and use all the heads on these bodies. So that'd be my Russian militia. I've used German field grey for the uniform there, which is Vallejo German field grey. And again, he's got a Crimean backpack. I gave him the plain backpacks, and then given the line troops the ones that got the canteens on them. So that's the extent of my Russians at the moment. This chap, as I said, is a Duchy of Warsaw, not done the base yet. Duchy of Warsaw figure. Is 3D printed. Really nice. Lovely detail. I just bought like a sample of, I think I bought 12 skirmishers. To see what they were like. And I've since ordered 30 kind of marching posed Duchy of Warsaw. And as I said, they'll be for the Battle of Sierra. But yeah, impressed with that. And for the colours there, that's the Foundry Triad, French blue, which works pretty well. And a Russian Hussar. Light keeps bloody changing here. It's sun keeps going in and out, so sometimes it's quite bright, sometimes it's a bit dull. This is Russian Hussar, but he's basically made up of Austrian Hussar with just a Russian head on it. There's bound to be inconsistencies, but I mean, what I know of is the sheepskin. Was it Shabrak? Anyway, that cover. Don't think the Russians used them, but as it's winter, why would they not? This is from the, don't know how to pronounce it, a Triska regiment. They had chestnut brown dolman and police, yellow kind of facings. Yeah, I enjoyed doing that. Takes bloody ages though, doesn't it, doing Hussars? Napoleonics generally quite fiddly, but I do like them. I do really want to get stuck into them, so I just need to get say, scenario and some rules sorted out, so I can get to really enjoy them. Yeah, so that's my Napoleonics for the moment. Shelved, but I'll be coming back to them hopefully soon. I mean, I can get on with the poles because I know what I'm doing with them. Just need to get some lancers. I now know where I'm getting my line troops from. So, I mean, the same 3D printer does lancers, so I'll probably get some of them. But I also want the Victrix ones, the Guard lancers. So I intend to get a few packs of those, and probably some of the 3D printed ones. Now, oh yeah, I haven't got far on this, but do want to persevere. Well, persevere sounds like a chore. It's not a chore. I do like doing them. It's just haven't got anywhere yet. First World War. This is a Belgian. Yep. With a Tyrolean style hat. It's a carabiner. I look forward to getting into those because they've got, I've mentioned to you before, their gun limbers are like pulled by dogs. So I've got like a set of a couple of sets of limbers and cannon machine guns with the dogs, the dog packs pulling them. So I intend to get quite a few of those. They're from Brigade models, not to be confused with the American ones, Brigade in the UK. So yeah, I do really want to stock up on the Belgian World War One. For that, I'm thinking of 28mm scale. I'm thinking of doing sharp practice. Well, no, sorry, chain command, because they have a World War One variant which I want to use. I do actually have Through the Mud and the Blood, which is their World War One game, but I found it just virtually unreadable. You know, it's two fat lardies. I like their stuff, but it was just like, just really vague and hand wavy, and it's just too much effort to. You have to make stuff up to get yourself set up. Too much effort to get going, to even get started on it, and say it's so vague and hand wavy type rules. I just could not be arsed with it. So I want to pick up the chain of command variant and go for that. I do intend to do small scale, as in small miniature scale, but large scale battles. And I'm thinking there I'm going to get Great Escape's 1914 rules, and they do 12mm figures, and they do sell like starter army boxes to go with them. But Callistra also do 12mm, and they do a really comprehensive World War One range. Comprehensive as in Western Front. They don't actually do the Middle East, unfortunately, but yeah, they've got everything else covered on that. They've got Serbians, Austro-Hungarians, French, German, Belgian, British, yeah, really well covered. So I'm really thinking of having a go at that at some point. It's all money though, isn't it? You know, when you can afford it and what mood you're in at the time when you've got the cash to spare. But so that's plans anyway there for World War One. And as we were saying about the Lee, what did you do with the Crimean heads? This is what I did with the Crimean heads. Set me off on something totally different. I started, I was thinking what to do with them, and I started thinking about 40k type stuff. Like they have their Imperial Guard, they call them. I think they're called Imperial Guardsmen. And they got like different versions, and they're like, some are like historical looking. They look like the old British Zulu, Anglo-Zulu War British. And I thought, well, I'll do something like that. But what I did was, there's a company called Anvil Industries, and the resin figures, they can basically order, they're customizable. So you basically order your head, but I've already got the head, but you get heads as part of it, and I'll show you what I've done with those. So you order like head, torso, arms, legs, weaponry, equipment, and you basically build your own kind of forces. So I went for this look. It was like, you know, a bit World War One looking, kind of greatcoats. Looks like the old French greatcoats, doesn't it? And obviously you order things like them epaulets as separates. So I thought I'll get some of those. That'll jazz them up a bit. Painted the helmets white. I thought that looked good rather than the black that they were in the Crimean War. And I thought I'd do use up all the Russian heads doing that. This is some chap with some form of heavy weapon. I'm going to sort of use the epaulets as a bit, you know, like I did in Napoleonics. Fusiliers, going to be that white. Guys using heavy weapons, I'm going to call them grenadiers, and they'll be red. And then light infantry, who I'm going to equip with, you know, smaller rifles, carbine type things, and swords. They'll be the light infantry, and they'll have yellow epaulets. So yeah, I look forward to doing that. And these Anvil Industry, they're brilliant. So resin, minimal to no cleanup. They just go together so well. There's no arsing around scraping things. Really, really excellent sculpts and components. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested in kind of science fiction-y type stuff or apocalyptic type things, they do some really good hazmat suits, which I'd love to get. Don't know why, but they just look great. I'd like to get them. But yeah, Anvil Industries, recommend that if you're into this kind of thing. As for the bases, I got these from, I think it's Bases for War. They're called, this style of base is Dragon's Causeway. They look a bit like scales, I suppose. But I'm using it as like a Red Planet type of base, which is something I do with all my 40k style figures, really. I think it's because I started off doing Blood Angels, so I gave them Red Planet bases. And I've carried it on from there. So that's what that's going to be. That's just the base coat, but yeah, we've got a shade and highlight and everything. Yeah, I really like these. Look forward to getting a bit further on with them. So that's that. And that has also led to full-on Space Marines as well, because as I said, you get heads with those sets. And I ordered these heads, which are Stahlhelms with death masks, because I'm having a bit of a German World War One froth. I thought I'd do some German World War One style Space Marines. I was looking for something with the the kind of German cross. What I've used there is, for those of you who don't know, I don't know a massive amount about Space Marines, but they have different chapters of Space Marines, and there's one called Black Templars, and that is the shoulder pads from a Black Templars kit. Because I thought, that cross is similar to the German Iron Cross. I've since discovered, I've since discovered some STL files of shoulder pads. You can just about make that out there, and the files are free, so I got them and sent them to the chap that did the Duchy of Warsaw figures, and he's going to print the pads out for me. But I just got about 6 printed just to make sure they fitted well, which they do. So yeah, they're all going to have these shoulder pads. These icons here, I bought them a few years ago from Shapeways, but now everything seems to ship from the US from them, and the postage is just ridiculous, so I've given up on that. I've actually put the wrong symbol on there. It should be like a arrow like that. But the chap that provided these files has done shoulder pad files of all the squads. So you've got these, which are tactical squads, and then you've got those which are devastators, which is heavy weapons. And then he's done pads for all the different types of squads. So there's, say, tactical, heavies, command, elites, and assault. So I'm going to get that chap to print those for me, so I won't have to fiddle around with these things anymore. Yeah, so they're going to be painted, I think, using this style, the German World War I colours, which I've got from the AK Interactive set. So that's that. Yeah, right, I've now refocused on something else. I've gone back to something that I've been a long time interested in, American War of Independence. So I had started these a couple of years ago. I've picked them back out now. Move up. Perry, obviously metal. This is a command set in hunting shirts. Flag by Maverick Models. These are going to be for the Battle of Trenton. In hindsight, I should have done Trenton really in small scale, like 12mm or something, because it's a lot of buildings, but I didn't think of that at the time, and I'm well into the collection now. I've got 3/4 of the figures I need for it, so it's a case of carry on regardless now. Yeah, but knowing me, I'll never get that far anyway, so it's a kind of moot point really, I suppose. But whether I ever make any buildings, that's another thing altogether. Anyway, this lot, I'm basing this using the Land of the Free rules, and I've got scenarios from Land of the Free, so I've got everything in there: army lists, force compositions, everything. I've got the whole thing laid out, both forces. It's Continentals and against Hessians. There's no Brits in the only British in the Hessian force are, in real life, there are only 20 dismounted British Dragoons. So I've just bought a pack of 6 dismounted Dragoons, and that's the only red coach you'll see in it. Actually, apart from one Continental unit, I think it's 1st Connecticut, they were in red. But yeah, the only actual British troops in it are this tiny unit of dismounted Dragoons. But yeah, this is Pennsylvania rifles. From what, it's the same as bloody Napoleonics. You keep finding conflicting uniform information, if you can find any at all. Apparently they wore predominantly green hunting shirts, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm used Vallejo World War II Russian uniform for that. Works well. Then I'm going to do like a few in white, off-white shirts like this. Might do a couple in blue. I've got a nice blue, I think it's from AK Interactive, called American Blue. It's like a nice pale blue, so I might do a couple in that. But there's only going to be 18 in it, because it's say Land of the Free, and they have element sizes. They're called elements, and you go tiny, small, medium, large. So for tiny infantry, I'm doing 6. Then small would be 12. Medium will be 18. Large will be 24. So yeah, this is like a medium unit of 18. Is that right? Yeah, that's right, because I'm doing 6 to a base. So yeah, 3 bases. Yeah. Yeah, metal, Perry metal command base. Lovely figures. And I do like Maverick flags. I always get the material ones because they're solid. rather than paper. And winter basing, because Trenton was fought in the snow. So yeah, look for I'm determined to actually get somewhere with this one, because this period I do like. So that's the beginnings of that. I'll show you the undercoated rest of them, or some of them. They're basically like that firing line. Mostly, I'll just put a dot a few up there for you to see. Oops. Again, Perry. Lovely figures. So yeah, I look forward to getting stuck into these. I've started preparing some Hessians. I'm going to try and do like a unit of, alternate between units. So I've got, this chap keeps falling over. Not that one. This is the command for some Hessian Fusiliers, which are lovely figures. Again, get that in focus. That fellow at the back there keeps tipping over. It's a bit too with the standard. It's a bit like that. So if anyone can suggest something to put on the back here to weight him down, like a rock from your basin material, it's just not heavy enough, so I don't know what to put on there. Needs something that's going to stop him tilting like that. So if anyone can think of something for me, but yeah, look at that. Brilliant figures, aren't they? Fusiliers. Hessian Fusiliers. I like the drummers. Look forward to doing those. And the other, I've got some Grenadiers in the process of preparing and undercoating. In this Hessian force, there's going to be there are 3 Fusilier units, all large elements, so that's 24 infantry, and 2 large Grenadier units, so another 2 lots of 24, and there are 9 artillery in it. Well, there's 3 medium artillery elements, so that's obviously if I'm going tiny, small, medium, large. Tiny is going to have to be 1, so go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 medium units. That's me 9 artillery. Just base these on square bases for now, just to be able to paint them. They're Hessians, by the way. I'm going to put them on circular bases, I think. 60mm circular base. Lovely. Yep, so that's me 28mm. And lastly, I've decided, another battle I picked out was Germantown, which is absolutely massive. So I've decided I shall be doing some AWI in small scale. And I've gone to Callistra for this, 12mm. Just undercoated these, and I'll paint the dark brown on the horse. I'm going to just highlight the horse a bit. I'm not completely sold yet. Once I've actually completed some, then I'll have more of an idea, but I'm thinking I want to give this a good go at this scale. Never really stuck with small scales. I've attempted it before. I've attempted 10mm before. Quite like the results when I finished, but I don't know, I find myself drifting off them because I like painting the 28s. But I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy painting these, and I'll persevere. And the price as well, they're really good. I mean, you get Callistra, you get 32 infantry, and they even provide the bases. You get 4 bases with that, so you put 8 on a base. £6. For cavalry you get 16, with obviously the 4 bases again, and they do look, you know, pretty good detail for 12mm really. It's not focusing very well, but they are pretty good detail. There you go. Though I do hope I get somewhere with them and enjoy doing them. And I'll just quickly grab a pack of infantry. I've got, oh no, I haven't got the wrong pack there. Sorry, I'll show you them next time. But yeah, that is basically, these are going to be for Germantown, Battle of Germantown, which was predominantly, the British side was British forces, so yeah, redcoats. With some Hessian allies, whereas Trenton is purely Hessians. And what I've brought, I have actually bought a pack of British Dragoons, and a pack of British Grenadiers, and a pack of British Artillery. So even if I thought, oh well, actually I'll do Trenton in 12mm, I bought the wrong stuff to do that. So I'm going to have to just push on Trenton 28mm, and I'll do Germantown in this scale, I think. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Hopefully I'm on the AWI at the moment, with little side bits of World War 1 and 40k-ish stuff. And hopefully I'm going to pursue that. But this here will give you a hint of something else I'm interested in at the moment. Oh, and the Hulk underneath. I'm always interested in the Hulk. My mate Paul, Cat Roger, Cat Roger 70 video channel. He is massively into Greeks, and being Paul, he keeps pestering me with Greek stuff, sending me pictures of all his Greek troops. He says he's not, but I know he's trying to get me into doing the same period as him. I think it's me, I actually set him off on it a bit because I haven't got the figure to hand, but I bought a 3D printed Gorgon Medusa. Fantastic figure. It's got her holding a Greek soldier who's she's turned into stone. And I showed him a picture of that, and then he started getting his bloody Greek figures out that he got. So he keeps banging on about them, and I like looking at them. He's doing some good stuff. He'll probably get a video up on them soonish. If he hasn't already, I'm a bit behind. But yeah, he keeps going on about that, and that started me thinking about, because I kept mentioning Victrix to him, but he's already bought a load of Warlord stuff, and I don't think they're compatible sizes. Whereas I like Victrix, and I said to him if I was ever going to do that period, I'd go Victrix, because I haven't got anything, so I'll be starting afresh. But it started me thinking about Alexander, because was it a couple of years ago everyone was doing videos about what got them into wargaming, and my one was Avon Hill board game called Alexander, which my uncle bought me, the first thing I ever got that was related to wargaming, and that's the Battle of Gaugamela. So since I started historicals, which is relatively short time ago really, because I mean I've been painting Games Workshop stuff since I was my teens, but I would say it's only about the past 7 or 8 years that I've looked at historicals. So yeah, in that time I started thinking about how I'd do what I'd do for Gaugamela. I kept thinking I'd go small scale, but I don't know, I keep seeing these really nice Victrix figures, and I'm thinking I might go that way. The only thing is, I like chariots, and I would want a lot of chariots, and it seems more feasible to do that in one of the smaller scales. I might have to just buy like a pack of 10mm or something and try them out, see what I think. But at the moment I'm erring towards getting a load of Victrix stuff, and yeah, trying to, at least I've got something to aim to. I've got, like, say, Gargamel. Just need some rules, really, ancient rules. Not sure. I've got Sword and Spear. I don't know if they. Well, I can't find these Sword and Spear rules. I can find the fantasy version, but not the actual historical one. And I can't remember if they go back to ancients or if they're sort of Dark Ages and medieval. But they're good. Sword and Spear. But yeah, I cannot find that rulebook at all. Don't know where it's gone. I might have to buy the PDF or something. But anyway, yeah, that's another thing I'm thinking of. So yeah, I do fancy doing that, but I want to try and focus on AWI for a bit. But I do know that's going to lead me into French-Indian War. You know, I'll be back on my French-Indian War collection soon, I can tell. But anyway, that's it. Thanks to everybody who's sat through this, and thanks for subscribing and watching. I'll say hello to Ralph if he's watching. It's him that's actually sort of prodded me to get back doing videos, because he printed backpacks for me for these, and I said, he just said do some videos rather than pay him for them. So yeah, I'm trying to do more videos now as a sort of way of thank you. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get another one out soonish, and hopefully I'll have some more of these done, and maybe some Hessians started as well. Anyway, take care everybody. Speak soon. Bye.